It is estimated that about 5,000 people per year are victims of serial killers. According to Linda M. Papazian in her 2001 article, Literature Review on the Personalities and Patterns of Serial Killers. Throughout history, serial killers have really intrigued and confused the minds of many. Though they are a very hot topic in today's media, very little is actually known about what a serial killer is by definition, what causes people to become a serial killer, and what characteristics are common among these individuals. To begin with, there are many different definitions of what a serial killer is. However, one of the most common ones is Gabriella Simon's 2015 article, The Traits of and the Thrill of Serial Killers definition, which is a serial killer is a person who murders 3 or more people with a cooling off period and is over the period of more than 30 days. Between each murder, there will be a cooling off period, and the motivation for killing is largely based on psychological gratification. Next, you will see a table in my uploaded files. This table is table 4 of the Emma Friddle and James Fox, Too Few Victims, Finding the Optimal Minimum Victim Threshold for Defining Serial Murder, Volume 8, Number 4, from July of 2018. And this table is called Comparison of Offender Characteristics by Serial Killer Type. On here you will see that the prophylactic victim count for number of victims is 8 or more. However, potential number of victims is only 2. So this really gives insight into the fact that the number of murders per serial killer is not necessarily 3 or more. There is a chance that they will only have 1 to 2 murders. However, it's more typical for there to be 3 to 7. It also shows that the mean of age at first kill is usually 26 to 27, and that the majority of these actually had partners, so they were either married or dating someone at the time of these acts. Which brings me to the next point, that another question that is often asked about serial murders is why. As of 2010, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, otherwise known as the FBI, released an informative document discussing serial killers and common misconceptions regarding who they are and why they commit these murders. Within this document, Serial Murder, it is stated that serial murders, like all human beings, are the product of hereditary, their upbringing, and the different environmental choices that they made throughout their development. Meaning that there are several factors to consider when evaluating and reasoning behind the acts that they occurred. This is why there is no template to finding serial killers. They can be as seemingly average as you and I. Lastly, serial killers are usually stereotyped and believed to be on average a white middle-aged male that is often categorized as a loner. However, the 2010 document Serial Murder that we just discussed, produced by the FBI, states that these surface-level attributes are actually inaccurate, and that serial killers aren't usually defined by surface-level characteristics. Instead, they being defined by race, age, gender, or even social status, they often display the following characteristics: sensation-seeking, a lack of remorse or guilt, impulsivity, the need for control, and predatory behavior. Though it is difficult to categorize serial killers, something that has been common between several different offenders is art. According to an interview in 2013 with Anthony Mioli, he discussed that he didn't believe that art and serial killers was a coincidence. He also believes that there's a correlation from their artistic ability that should be examined on a much deeper level. While everyone who is artistic surely will not become a serial murderer, the idea is that their right brain, emotional, and creative side, rather than their left side, which is more of a reasoning side, allows them to be both artistic and sadistic, which this side of the brain seems to be heightened in most serial killers. This leads to our conclusion. Serial killers and the reasoning behind them is still a heightened and confusing topic in psychology and criminology divisions. Little is known about the relativity to one another and their motives. However, new studies are still surfacing and revealing new information about serial killers. More is yet to be discovered about how the brain is developed and how this impacts us and causes the need for such a violent behavior. But for now, we will have to continue to ask questions and hope for a breakthrough in the minds of serial killers.